Mickey and Nemo, Pinocchio and Toy Story, Cinderella and Cars. These are just some of our favorite cartoon movies that have completed our childhood. We all know these two intros in one of our favorite movies. Are you aware that in May 2006, Walt Disney has announced that it will be buying Pixar? Yes, Pixar, the animated studio led by Apple head Steve Jobs, for a deal worth $7.4 billion. The merger brings together Disney's historic franchise of cartoon characters such as Mickey, Minnie, and Donald Duck. Of course, with Pixar's stable of cartoon hits, including two Toy Story films, Finding Nemo, and The Incredibles. The merger of the legendary Walt Disney and Pixar was a match made in cartoon heaven. Since then, it has been reported that it is one of the most successful mergers of times.
Now let's go local. When Filipinos think of Jollibee, the first thing that likely come to our minds are the all-time favorite Chicken Joy, Sweet Jolly Spaghetti with hot dog, Langhap Sarap Yum Burger, and of course those cheesy yet well-loved Kwentong Jollibee videos on YouTube that even cynics have a hard time resisting. But many may not realize that Jollibee became a global fast food monsters gobbling up international food brands. And high profile at that, like its most recent investment in the coffee bean and tea leaf. And we don't mean the local Philippine franchise, but the parent company itself. Jollibee Food Corporation then began acquiring other successful local restaurant chains, the likes of Greenwich, Chowking, Mang Inasal, solidifying its position as the country's biggest food service company. But JFC was just getting started. With its flagship, Jollibee soon enters market outside the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, North America, and most recently in Italy and United Kingdom. Acquisition will always be part of our growth strategies. We remain open to opportunities that may arise, and as always, we are stringent with our acquisition. JFC Chairman Tony Tan said during the company's first virtual meetings, the question now is how and why companies do mergers and acquisitions.
But before that, first, let us define what is merger and acquisition. So, merger is a strategy in which the two firms agree to integrate their operations on a co equal basis. On the other hand, acquisition is also a strategy in which a firm buys the controlling or 100% interest of another firm with the intention of making it as part of its business subsidiary.
Did you know that there is an unfriendly way of acquisition? It is called takeover, in which the target firm doesn't solicit the bid of the acquiring firm. In the Philippine setting alone, there are companies that are known to have undergone the acquisition and merger, like the SM Investment Corp, which acquired the 24.5% of Togo in the year 2017. It is for SM to be able to adapt to the changing retail landscape.
Let's learn more about the friendly and unfriendly procedures of merger and acquisition. In M&A, there's often a confusion between the friendly takeover and hostile takeover. So, think about it. How can be the one differentiated from each other? Simply, it's in the manner in which the company is taken over. In friendly takeover, the targeted company's management and BOD agree to the intended takeover and helps in the implementation of it. On the other hand, the hostile takeover, the management and the BOD of the targeted company does not agree or oppose to the said takeover.
We know that the unfriendly procedure is labeled as such because the acquiring firm offers a very low price for the stocks of the target firm, and the target firm's management loses their job, power, and influence.
I think are the reason behind merger and acquisition. First, it is because of the acquired synergies. As we say, two heads are better than one. So it is expected that the combined performance of businesses are better than having a single line of business. Next is growth. Based on the studies, external growth is a faster through acquisition than internal growth. Next is diversification. So, business often diversify to reduce risk, as the collection of diverse business is less risky than a single line of business, and usually the variation in different business lines often offset each others. To realize operational efficiencies and economies of scale is also a reason why companies do merger and acquisition, as well as to eliminate competition, to acquire the unique niche market, to buy assets cheaply, to compensate tax losses, and lastly, empire building by the management, to increase its size, its influence, and scope of the business through acquiring the other businesses.
Did you know that the largest merger and acquisition in history happened in the year 2000? And it was worth over 180 billion US dollars. In it, the UK-based Vodafone acquired the German company Mannesmann, and as a result, Vodafone became the largest mobile operator in the world. It is not easy to achieve success in merger and acquisition because there are a lot of problems that you may encounter along the way, like inability to form synergies or integration difficulties. You may also encounter too much diversifications or inadequate evaluation of the target firm or the additional costs in managing the new firm may exceed the benefits that we get from it. Did you know that there are only 20% successful merger and acquisitions? The other 60% produce uh, unpleasing results, and the other 20% are completely failure.
The role of investment bank. Investment bankers are involved with mergers in a lot of ways, such as helping in arranging mergers, helping target companies to develop and establish a defensive tactics, helping finance mergers, and assisting in establishing a value for the target. Achieving successful acquisition. The success of acquisition may be achieved, of course, with the help of investment banks. Aside from that, it may also be through a well-conceived strategy for selecting the right target firm, not paying too high for the price premium, employing effective integration process, and retaining target firm's human capital. If you are interested in merger and acquisition, here are the terms and information that might be a great help to you. Mergers may be structured in multiple different ways based on the relationship between the companies involved in the deal. Horizontal mergers, where two companies are in direct competition and share the same product line and market. Vertical merger, a customer and a company, or a supplier and a company. Think of a cone supplier merging with an ice cream maker. Congeneric mergers, where two businesses serve the same consumer but in different ways, such as TV manufacturer and a cable company. Market extension mergers, where two companies sell the same product in different markets. Product extension mergers, where two companies are selling different but related product in the same market. Conglomeration where two companies have no common business areas.
Price premium is also a word associated with mergers and acquisition. In this context, one must remember that the price offered to the target shareholder must be higher than the stock market price, higher enough to induce the stockholders to sell their stocks now. Also, the leverage buyout, which is popular during 1980s. It is where the investors takes the company privately by buying all of the stock using borrowed money. And then later on, they will attempt to work down the level of debt. Leverage buyout tends to be more risky due to the high level of debt. In the future, if you are interested in merger and acquisition, you should also learn about the proxy and proxy fight, in which a proxy is a document giving a certain person the right to act for another certain issue, while the proxy fight is opposing group solicits the shareholder proxies in electing the board of directors.
Many business professionals will experience a merger during the course of their career. In fact, merger and acquisitions are common business practices, particularly in industries like healthcare, technology, finance, and retail. With the rapid pace of innovation in the modern business world, it's important to understand why and how merger and acquisitions happen.